Good afternoon, everyone. Father Dave here. I just wanted to bring you an update from the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops with regards to the coronavirus. Sadly, this month we marked the 1 year since the pandemic began, which drastically changed life in our society. It ushered in, as we know, immense suffering and death, and many have endured extraordinary hardships, sickness, mourning, a lack of food, a lack of affordable housing, the loss of work and income, struggles with education, separation, abuse, isolation, depression, and anxiety. Throughout our country, we witnessed racial injustice, the diminishment of the poor and the elderly, and painful decisions in the political life of our country. As we know in the Psalms, it reminds us to find comfort in the promise that God gives to each of us life. We also saw countless acts of sacrifice by doctors, nurses, frontline workers, EMTs, paramedics, those on the front lines, our police and fire services, our first responders and chaplains. We saw the opening up of soup kitchens and homeless shelters, mail carriers and people providing groceries and store workers, even strangers committing random acts of kindness. Countless acts were offered by so many people throughout our country, throughout our community, that serve to remind us that we are all in this together. And for the acts of sacrifice, we are very grateful. We are also grateful to all of our priests, to our deacons, our religious, our teachers, our catechists, lay ecclesial ministers who have ministered to the people of God during these difficult times. You yourselves know that this has not been an easy road, but together we will get through this. Even though we have to practice social distancing and are away from our families, we know there is hope on the horizon. In the pandemic, God has once again been revealed to us. Pope Francis reminds us, and he was talking in St. Peter's Square, that we are not as powerful or as in control as we thought. Rather than being ashamed of that powerlessness or crushed by it, we cannot control our interconnectedness or our dependence on God. As Christians, this is the very familiar lesson. St. Paul reminds us to bear one another's burdens until you fulfill the law of Jesus Christ. That law is very simply the law of love. The pandemic has also revived our sense that we are not alone, that this truly has been a global systemic problem and we are part and parcel of our brother's keeper. And while the growing availability of vaccines is clear and is a sign of hope that the pandemic too will pass, we must be given an opportunity for every human being on this planet to make the vaccines universally available. That it cannot be hoarded by richer nations, by pharmaceutical companies, but we work together to ensure that no person, no nation is left behind. So there really is a lot to learn from this global suffering. We know more than ever now that God is with us, that God does not abandon us. We must build on the kindness and the openness that we have witnessed on the local level, creating more social structures that will heal the fractures and isolation that have been felt by so many during this pandemic. We must try to prevent the divisions that have been going on. And as Pope Francis has implored us, let us dream then as a single human family to a horizon where more caring for one another goes on. Let us keep that sense alive and continue to promote the work of the common good. You know, we are certainly renewed by this season of Lent, that we place our confidence in the Lord who suffered and was crucified, but who also rose again. We join everyone to ask God to continue to keep his love alive in our hearts, in our families, and in our parish community. One of the things that has been brought to our attention, certainly during the health crisis that we face, is the number of deaths from COVID-19. Given the urgency of this crisis and the lack of alternative available vaccines, and the fact that the connection between abortion and that occurred decades ago and receiving a vaccine produced today is remote, getting inoculated with a new COVID-19 vaccine in these circumstances can be morally justified. So please do not hesitate to go out and get vaccinated, whether it's Pfizer, whether it's Moderna, whether it's Johnson & Johnson, and possibly the AstraZeneca vaccine. The important thing is that you do your part to protect us. The sooner we build herd immunity, the sooner we grow stronger as a nation and as a parish community, the sooner we will gather once again in the Lord's house to give praise and thanks to God for the many blessings that the Lord has given to us. An opportunity for us to grow in faith, hope, and love, and an opportunity for us to be restored to good health. May God continue to bless you during these waning days of Lent. And we hope to see you all in church as we celebrate this most holy and sacred season of the year. May the Lord continue to watch over and protect you. May the Lord heal us and keep us one people. Thank you and have a wonderful day. May God continue to be with you and your family to bless us all. Take care.